Yeah, all right, so you're trying to start up. You're trying to get going. And it doesn't really matter if you're 16 or 26 or 30, but you're trying to start your own business. You're either working for someone, right? You probably are working for someone. You're saving cash, and you have a knowledge of the industry at this point.
Yeah, you already know what you're trying to do.
You're either mowing your neighbor's lawns or you're working for a guy that is mowing lawns. But all right, so trucks, taking it from the oldest on to the newest, and then there's different levels of trucks, and I'm gonna categorize it into 3 different levels. You have half ton, 3/4 ton, and then you've got your 1 ton, 550, even a 2 ton. Like, you just got your big daddy truck. All right, starting with the oldest truck, you go with that like 1986 to 90s Toyota, like the Toy Story Toyota, like that the pizza delivery Toy Story Toyota. Dude, that thing rides with a 5-speed manual, straight 4 under the hood. Yeah. That is a 500,000 mile pickup truck right there. Like,
don't buy an S10, don't buy a Ranger. Go
S10 and Ranger are crap.
Yeah, go Toyota if you're
all
gonna go
years.
that small. Still a good truck, still a pickup truck. It's gonna pull your lawn trailer.
I mean, if you have to go S10 or Ranger, go S10 with a 6 point. My first truck was a GMC Jimmy, which was the SUV of the S10. Yeah. It was a 94 with a 4.3 liter V6, which was a 350. It's a Chevy 350 with 2 cylinders cut off.
So yeah, I've never seen the S10. Okay. I've always dealt with Rangers, so that's why I would say just in general.
Ranger's crap. Like, all right, this is like but Toyota for your small guy, right? That's your only quarter. I guess it's 4 trucks. Your 1/4 ton truck, Toyota strictly. If you're gonna do that, your half ton truck though, you can go. I love Chevy any year half ton.
Right.
I mean Ford. I'd stay away from a Ford half ton. Period.
The Chevy half tons were always good.
I want this stuff, these distracting things going. All right, the
Chevy half tons are solid from '88 all the way up to pretty much like 2008. Whenever they changed the body style, whenever they started getting newer.
But like the Chevy.
We've both dealt with. You had a '91. I had a '94.
No, I had a '94. I had '95.
I had 95. Okay, yeah, I had a '94.
If you get that truck, mine was 2-wheel drive with 350 in it. Yours was 4.
Mine was 4-wheel drive.
Dude, a regular cab 4-wheel drive like you had. But dude, the Chevys are everywhere. You can find those trucks.
Those are cheap when you're starting out. $1,000, maybe $1,500.
You can find them on Craigslist all over.
Yeah, they're easy to fix, and the parts for them are cheap.
Dude, you might even be able to find a $500 truck and a $1,500 truck and make a nice truck from the two.
You can go to the junkyard. You don't have to order these parts new. You can go to the junkyard and buy new doors, new bumpers,
if you're 15 and you're trying to save up for your first truck, and you've got an area where your dad, mom, whoever's going to let you work on something,
you want to go Chevy 1500.
You want to go Chevy 1500 for a fact. Like, so Chevy 1500 all the way to present day, I have no problem with the Chevy 1500. The trannies are solid, the motors are solid, like everything in that truck is great. Then once you get your business going, you're going to go to a 3/4 ton truck. 3/4 ton trucks, in my opinion, should always be diesels. Like, once you can get into a diesel, you get into a diesel, especially as a lawn dude.
Yeah, if you're going 250 plus, always get a diesel.
So 2500 or 250. If you're going with once you get in your first diesels, I'd say 94 to 2002 Ford 7.3. I don't care if it's in a 250, a 350, a 450. Like the 450 just came about in like 2000s, but like the 7.3 Ford, you cannot go wrong with it.
You can't go wrong with it.
That is a 300,000 mile engine, and you might get 400 out of it, 500 if it's maintained.
Maintenance on it is cheap. If you just maintain it once a month,
oil changes are cheap. Does have an 18-quart oil change.
Yeah, but still, the thing runs, and like it'll run on 15 quarts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll get you home for the day.
It'll always get you home, dude. That thing is a beast.
Yeah.
Like, so with Ford though, after the 7.3, stay the hell away from a Ford.
You got your 6.0 next, then you got the 6.4, then you got the 6.7.
And the 6.7's untested. It doesn't really. No one out there has really had 100,000, 200,000 on the 6.7.
As of now, you want to stay from Ford. Stay away from Ford after 2002, 2003. That's when they switched.
If you can't get a 7.3, you stay the hell away from it. All right, then you got the Chevy, 2003 to 2003 Chevys and up are fine. The Duramax is fine. The Duramax Allison is fine. It's going to be more money, but after 2002, you can't really go Ford anymore. You can't. Like, so you have to go Chevy. or Dodge. And if you rock Dodge, you can go Cummins from 87 all the way up.
Yeah,
so
every year.
Cummins is gonna be the best landscape truck. We have 3 of them.
Everybody knows
Like-
this, and in general, the trannies aren't going to be the strongest part of that vehicle, but you're never going to have a problem with that engine.
Never gonna have a problem, dude. If you can start out with a Cummins like any year, that will take you all the way from your first lawnmower to your first Bobcat, your first Mini X.
So you're
Like-
going to put the least amount of money in that. You're going to spend more money on your equipment and everything else.
Dude,
You're
the
gonna
Cummins
grow
is-
your business with the Dodge.
Cummins is a truck that if you could get an older Cummins in high school, you could ride that all the way through college.
Yeah.
You could ride that all the way through your first kid.
I mean, just like
You know,
anything
like-
else, it's going to have to be maintained, but it's going to be probably the solidest truck. If you're going back past 2002, then I would say the 7.3 and the Cummins are definitely going to compete. The Cummins or the 7.3 tranny, especially if you can find a manual. For instance, we had a 250 manual, and that thing ran
Like a boss.
plenty.
Yeah. We beat the shit.
Beat the shit out of it.
Out of
ran
it.
as much as we needed, plus some. Towed whatever we needed it to.
Yeah. The backstory there was
Still sold it for 10 grand.
Still sold it for 10 grand. Yeah.
When we're done with it.
Yeah, you're right, because it was a nice truck. I mean, the backstory there was my truck, evolution was 94 GMC Jimmy, put the engine in it, ran it as my first lawn truck, got out of that within a year, got into a 95 Chevy 1500 two-wheel drive. Wasn't really what I wanted, but had 80,000 miles on it. It was a clean truck. It was nice. It got me into towing my own mulch pallets and stuff. It was great. And then I got into, a year later, I kept that truck and then got into a 2007-3 F250. So it was and it was black. It was
Extended cab.
35, 35s on it. That thing was, I straight piped
Obviously,
it.
four-wheel drive. Don't buy a diesel truck. That's not four-wheel drive either.
Yeah, don't buy
buy a complete set if you're getting a truck.
Especially in the landscape industry, guys that are my dad is a two-wheel drive guy.
Yeah.
All right, your dad's not.
Yeah.
But you grew up in the country.
Right.
I grew up more in town, and my dad never owned we owned a Jeep once, and it was badass. And we were up in Boston, and my dad got it for the snow, and it was finally, you've lived in Boston your whole life,
right.
and finally you have a four-wheel drive vehicle. Finally, we can get to school because we don't have some Cadillac. My dad had Cadillacs. My whole growing up, we had 4 Cadillacs, but he's also a road warrior. He's a traveling salesman, so he would ride to Pennsylvania on the weekend.
Yeah, he's riding comfortable.
Dude, my dad used to get a Cadillac at 50,000 miles and burn that thing at 300. He would get the 300,000, and I'm talking fast.
Oh, yeah.
My dad would
turn them.
dude, we go get oil change every freaking month, bro. We get oil changes every freaking month. But anyway, not to regress. So on your small trucks, Toyota, only way to go. I could say 87 Toyota all the way up. You can't beat it on your quarter-ton truck. If you can't do the Toyota because they are a little bit more expensive, do the S10, but stay the hell away from the Ford.
Yeah.
The 94, let's see, for your half tons, a 90 Chevy half ton 1500, all the way up to present day, totally fine. Ford, they're going to be those 150 guys, but I think the 150 is pretty shitty almost all years. It really is a shitty truck, the 150.
It's not going to carry its weight like the Chevy.
The 150, the Ford doesn't do the half ton right, but Ford does the 3/4 ton and the 1 ton fine. With the 7.3.
With the 7.3.
Which is 94 to 2002. But after that, get the hell away from that. Also, you don't want a 7.3 without a turbo because the bitch will be insanely slow. The 7.3 is a slow, it's a school bus motor.
Which there was years which it was technically international. But
it's an international motor.
Has no turbo on it.
And then you've got the Cummins at any year, from 88, 87, whenever the Cummins came out, all the way up, it's a freaking Haas truck. Yeah. So you can't go wrong with that. And then if you're going to do modern day Chevy for your diesel, so this is your 3/4 ton truck, 2003 Chevy to 2007, prime years for the Duramax, but 2003 all the way up, you really can't beat the Duramax. It's going to be more expensive than your Cummins, though. Apples to apples. But
it's going to be the same truck, it's going to be more expensive.
But the Chevy's going to be a freaking solid truck. And I would say that's... And those guys will take you all the way from starting out with your first lawnmower to getting into your first Bobcat,
Exactly.
to whatever. But when you go with your bigger truck, after you get out of the quarter ton's fine to start a lawn business. Half ton is fine to expand your lawn business. But once you are getting to the point where you're getting into your second or definitely your third truck, by the time you get into your third truck, you need to be in a four-wheel drive diesel.
Yeah.
Something. 250 is fine.
250 is fine. It'll still pull your weight, but you might have to do some suspension upgrades if you go 1 ton.
If you're gonna be in this industry, you need to get into a diesel four-wheel drive, especially if you're up north and there's potential plowing money, there's potential landscape money. Like, you can always rent a Bobcat as long as you've got the truck to go and pick it up, because that's where the rental companies screw you, is on the delivery.
I'll say from experience, the 250, your 250 was great. I also had a 250. I would have I wish I would have spent my money on an older Dodge 3500 1-ton dually to get myself in this business, because then that would have saved me time on having to buy a brand new truck.
That's true.
So even though we're shooting towards that goal to get a brand new truck, or brand new trucks, get a new fleet and everything the same, that instead of wasting the time and the money on a prettier truck, on a 250 4-wheel drive, you go the 350 or 3500, and save yourself some time.
But your life path, though, like to get to where you and I both are as business partners, but you came into this like, I was
ready to go.
I got lucky. My dad fed me books because I couldn't read when I was a kid, and he's like, "Here's books, I'll pay you to read them." And then I got reading them, and he just fed me business books. Yeah. So when I was like 8, I was like, I'm gonna own my own business. But so when I was 16, I was like kind of already in that segue. You come in and you're like, I'm gonna do the same thing, but you were working at a company at 18.
I was 16 when I figured out that I wanted to.
But what's clutch is that you were working at a company, and anyone can do this. You're working at a company, your first move is getting that personal truck. And you didn't go, you had a half ton. The half ton started to get shitty. You really couldn't afford to keep fixing it. So the payment was cheaper than the repairs, and you need a reliable vehicle to get to work. Yeah. And you went with you went with the 250. Yeah. Where you fucked up is you got the Lariat 6.0.
You want to go left or right?
Go left.
Yeah, I did fuck up getting the 6.0.
But you got lucky.
Another thing too.
But you got lucky, and that thing would
6.0s that were built on Monday and Friday were fucking awesome. The 6.0s that were built on Tuesday through Thursday, they were just shit. Yeah. And this is no general fact. It's just some of them are good, some of them aren't. For some reason, mine went to 200,000 miles. It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
I've seen other ones blow it 30,000 miles.
You also let yours idle all day long. When we were working it, that's what probably kept it running.
I never shut my truck off.
But the point is, you were smart in that you're working a job.
Another thing is too, if you're 16 and you're watching this video, if you think I had a '94 Chevy regular cab 4-wheel drive. The truck cost me $2,000, $2,500. If you think that I just got rid of that, I had zero financing. I had no help from my parents. I had nothing. I went to every single bank in Sarasota. We'll talk about financing later in a different video, but just long story short, I went everywhere to get financing until I found it. I didn't stop until I found financing.
For your second truck.
For the second truck. For the
first truck, you're 16, you're in high school.
Yeah, I saved up cash and I bought that myself.
Save up cash, and that's a great first truck. It's a great first truck. You can also take a hit in a 1500.
Of course.
You can wreck that truck and probably live.
Yeah.
Probably live.
You'll live, and the truck will probably ride out to
And
work
if you're
tomorrow.
16 and you think you're not going to eventually wreck a truck, you're probably going to wreck the truck at some point. But your move was, you had a 1500, then you were working a job, you're still living at home, you put a little bit of cheddar towards a nice truck, you got financing, which set you up for a year and a half later. We traded that truck and got you into a brand new 3500 Cummins. Yeah. And now you're at a lower payment or the same.
And that was my point. If you're already in that spot, you're already in that 1500, and you think there's no financing, there is financing out there. And then maybe you might find a different business partner later on in life, or especially if you have that 4-wheel drive diesel, you'll meet a contact when a lawn dude's stuck out in the ditch or something, stuck on the side of the road, and you want to pull him over, pull him out real quick. You're gonna meet a new contact.
That's true.
You're gonna meet different people with the better shit that you have.
I mean, I pull people out once a week with my truck. I give them a water bottle, a Gatorade, constantly, and then I always pick up new customers. Always pick up new customers because I have a 4-wheel drive diesel. Exactly. It just really does bring it home. Perfect, dude. That's good.